Good afternoon. This is Fari Hemzi. It's 5:07 p.m. Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. Welcome all. One housekeeping item. I will be taking about 10 days off. Hi, Siamak. How are you? Actually, he's one of those characters I've got to meet. This is my cousin. I'm going to be in LA and San Francisco starting 30th. I'll miss the non-farm, but we're about to launch version 4.6 of our ORB package, opening range balance breakout. Opening range breakout. But Dennis calls ORBO, which I was scratching my head when I saw that. But we're on the same page. And what we're doing there, we're introducing one of our most coveted indicators called DMZ for early exit near the peak. I'll show you what I mean. It has the uncanny ability to detect the peak of the equity of the trade you're in. Remember, in real time, not from a chart. Chart is history. Your broker is not going to take an order like that, right? You can't come 5 minutes later and say, get me out 5 minutes behind. No. This detects it by itself. Where it feels like it's about to be, and doesn't have to be exact. To be the peak, boom, you're out. You book it, you go away. Both long and short, no bias. That's going to be introduced right now. It's in final alpha test. We got probably another day or two in alpha test. They'll go to beta test for about 3 or 4 days with key people who are good with trade station operation, because I just don't have time to babysit them and handle them. It's a good thing because I want them to look at it, use it by itself. That gives us the feedback whether we'll properly put it in there. 2 key features we've added this time. One is the version control time bound, so they cannot run previous versions. It's crucial. We're all to be on the same page. So the software key detects what version you're running and will force you to run the right one. Otherwise, it won't run. That's one. The other one we learned from a firm that's running it for a bunch of friends and family, what's called rollover control. I don't know if you guys see this or not on the recording. Let me see. You see the calendar? No. Okay. Doesn't show the calendar because probably part of Windows. This month, every third month of a quarter, we roll over. The rollover date is chosen by CME. They rolled early. So they traded a new contract with very low volume, and the fills were horrible. I asked them why. You know me, I'm a numbers guy, data, law, and facts. So I'm asking him, why did you do that? Because that's company policy. I went to missile launch. I told Tico, insert your missile key. What do you mean, yes, your company policy? We don't make policy. CME does. We follow CME. So we build the code. They can't do that. Think about it. You're going to appreciate that. We build the code that will force them to can only trade this contract. And when the rollover comes, it's a little calendar. It rolls to the next contract. I don't want somebody deciding for themselves when they want to roll. It has to do with volume, and it's pre-published. Now, it used to be on the second Thursday of the third month of the quarter. Second Thursday of the third month. We will wait 1 day. We used to. Why? Volume. We'll go by volume. When the roller starts, the rollover, the volume is not catching up. It takes about a day to catch up. So early on the second Friday of the third month of the quarter, it would be caught up. Well, in the greater wisdom, recently, I just got a hold of it because in the chat room, we have a very eclectic group of people and pretty decent size active traders. Well, I don't necessarily call them professional traders, but they sold the company some extra cash, and they put it in many stuff, long-term core positions. But there's extra cash to stay involved, and they trade derivatives, and they're done with golf. They're done with shopping with their wife. They go back to their roots, which is trading. So that's what they do. And one of them says, Larry, there's a published page on the CME. This you need to know. If you're trading futures, they have moved it to a Sunday before the third Monday of third month of the quarter. So they moved it by 2 more days. And lo and behold, because everybody's reading it, especially big guns, they started rolling. So by the time we got to Sunday night, you'd see that on the ES side, it was encroaching. It was getting close. The U contract taking over M contract. And the NQ was a little bit behind it. By Monday morning, both were, the U was lead. So we built that in there. And now they can't. They can't run the code without the right symbol. And if they do, there's a dialog box that pops says, no go. You don't have the second missile key. You can't launch. Okay. I'm not sure they're going to be happy about it, but listen, I'm not running for an office. I don't care what they think. Never did that. I'm like my dad. I do what I think is right. And in the long run, I will prevail. It's called, being out there in the trenches and respecting what's happening around you. And one of them is volume. I learned that from Bollinger. Volume is confirming indicator. If you don't get volume on your side, potentially you're in a fantasy land. So that's coming in to the code. And then, of course, DMZ. I'm going to show a little bit of DMZ later on. The scanner for option play. I think you'll be interested. More toward the end of this presentation. With that said, is there anything else I want to tell you? No. And then while I'm gone, Nancy, Peter, Admiral Esposito, and Cash will be available. They're going to run the chat room. We have also set up such that all chat rooms now are remotely controlled, so that I don't have to be here. I'm taking myself out of the loop because I'm just bombarded. I haven't had a day off since like mid-March. I went to New York, but that was not a day off. That was 3 days of hard work in front of really, really large hedge funds with bombing runs after you, because I'm a new kid on the block. I'm not new, but they take pot shots at you. And at one point I told one of them, I said, please shut the F up. Do you have a system that does 90% a month? Until then, I suggest you sit down, shut up, and take notes. He wasn't happy with it, but and he also, just for positioning, he had to mention to us that he flew in his own helicopter. All right, fine. All right, okay, big guy. But I asked him, what do you try to make? He goes 3% a month. I said, sure. Good. I'll take notes later. Yeah, sure. Most hedge funds I know are really under the water. They haven't made 3% a month this year. Please. That's unheard of. They're struggling. Most hedge traders know there's no bonus check. If this continues like this, they may not have a bonus check this year. And that gets you unnerved. I'm going to relate to that too later on here. That's why I've decided I think it's the best thing to do at this juncture in my development. Go to a system. Let the system take over. Because you get too emotional and you get too iffy. What if this? What if that? Yeah, no. That's not how you're going to be able to survive and make a decent living. With that said, let's go on to our first item we always talk about, the econ calendar. Okay. As you know, Jerry, as we call him, Jerry, as in Seinfeld. He spoke today. He's going to speak tomorrow again at 10 a.m. Today was 9:30. A bunch of guys last night I was having a cigar with saying, market, he's going to talk and we're going to tumble. Didn't exactly turn out that way. I forgot how we closed number-wise, but I can tell from another screen. Give me a second. Futures closed -3. It was not a sell-off like usually he has. And at one point, we also punched through 3,800. Let's speak tomorrow. We're going to have jobless claims tomorrow. PMI composite is there on the EIA. I haven't traded oil. I've done OIH. I've never traded oil futures other than a couple of times I was just messing around with the platform. let it jump 10, 15 cents and jump out because that's not my thing. So I don't look at EIA, but let's look at PMI composite for tomorrow at 9:45, right before the venerable Jerome Powell will speak. Yeah, I guess from Capitol Hill. Okay. In line. Okay, so no big, I don't know why they call it a red report. At least for this data review or data release, I should say, we're not expecting anything unusual. But market will always surprise us when we least prepared for. Keep that in mind. Jobless claims, I think it should get a little bit bigger. That makes sense. Wow. Hold on. The big day is gonna be Friday. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing. No, nothing big here. Home sales is crucial. Also, don't forget mortgage apps. Yeah, mortgage apps are down ticking again. Annual rate. These are home sales, right? 507. I think it was a couple of days ago we did mortgage apps. That's mortgage apps there. Yeah, that's and then I forget when was the permits, the housing permits. Look at the mortgage app that came out today. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's just normal. Look at refinance. Yeah, refinance is shot at this point. When refinance gets near zero, it's done. It's -3. Yeah, so no more. Bring your payments down. I mean, if you lock something in, good, stay there. Is there anything else here? No. This is the third week. This is the fourth week, right? Fourth week of the month. We have a few more days. Got 4 more days. Next week, GDP will be there. The first is a non-farm, and that's on a Friday. I won't be here, but I will monitor it from LA. I was just not going to fly with a dog on part of 4th of July weekend. Just already, I think on the 30th is going to be busy, and we have to go through RSW. That means that it's not a direct flight. I think we're going through Atlanta, and so that's what we got to do. Go on the 30th, but the chat rooms will run as normal, and we have double trained people on the remotely coming in and fix anything that would be down. And we have tested it several times. Of course, we got surprised in New York, but that was Microsoft. I learned my lesson too. We're going to lock out all updates so they cannot change something outside of trading hours. Remember, they have that in Windows now. It could do it after hours and reboot. But what if it doesn't come out of reboot? And I'm not here. So we're going to lock that up. We're going to wait. And as you know, that update in May 11th also involved messing around with the SQL, their .NET, where the data is recorded. And that's the main food for TradeStation. We store a lot of data. And with OTF, we create our own database there on the fly. With a special DLL I wrote back when I was in Chicago. It ruined everything. It was just a disaster. I lost a month of solid work on this machine. This machine was down completely. And so when we came back, I came back with vengeance. I bought 2 new monitors. And I said, I'm going to stop. This is a very high resolution monitor. It's a Samsung. But anyhow, I said, look, I want to bring this machine back. And it was a new machine. I just bought it in February. But I want to make it my front-end publishing. Other machines do not go online for security. You got to be very careful, guys. There's a lot of garbage out there. Will come in and take over your machine easily. So for that reason, the other 5, 6 machines here do not go online. Other than data. They get data from TradeStation. Anyhow, let's get to, this is the last chart. Let's go to our charts first. So that's econ data we have. I have no clue. Bullard speaking on Friday. Mr. Dove himself. Okay. I have no clue what non-farm is going to be, but I'll dial in. I'll dial in that morning. Okay, myself. Let's see. Like as under like PDI, poor dumb immigrants. Yeah. We'll do that. Okay, because I can't. The Fari Hamzy itself is logged in from here, so I gotta leave it there. Anyhow, long story short, let's move on. Timer charts. Okay. this is massive. This is just massive. This uh, uh, down to up volume ratio. That's going to be what, I don't know, 50, 47, whatever that was back then. Hold on. 57. Yeah. Yeah. And is this possibly the low we're thinking about? Possible. Now you're getting 15. Yeah. 15 versus 57. Yeah. And as we talked about last week, I said we're in the process of making a low. Look for divergences, and you can see in the working. CI dips are pulling up. They're negative, but the relative negativity is getting less. We're about to get into a buy signal there. Those who yesterday were telling me we're going to crash today because Winkler is going to talk, Federal Chair Jerome Powell is going to talk, I don't buy it. We're way, way oversold. When you have Apple, Google, Amazon, even Netflix down for 2 years low, there are going to be some bargain hunters. There are going to be some bottom feeders come in. Yeah, look at Netflix, for example. Now, I'm not telling you go and buy Netflix. That's not my say. But you saw our option trade. We bought 90-day options on Amazon. And I'm going to get to on scans. We're going to put some more positions on tomorrow. And Nancy manages that beautifully. We have exactly the same software. She sees exactly what I see. And then we collaborate on Google Docs when we put the trade together, the actual orders. And so it's just purely teamwork. I mean, if you come to our chat room, you see pure teamwork. Anyhow, so I'm sorry, what else do I want to talk about here on timer? We're pulling up. We were outside of -2 sigma. That's typical. Could not get to 3. Remember, -3 is occasionally hit, but not often on an index. On stocks, we do because that's higher volume. Because of law of averages, you have a lower volume index. We're still at that cross. That's 50 below 200. We try and come back up. If we get to about 4,000, I'm ready to go, big time. This next 200 points are crucial on S&Ps. So it would be 20 points on SPY. Okay. Canaries in the coal mine. Okay. Transpiration is not giving us a good signal. That's not good. Okay. That crossed recently. Peak back in last year, November of last year, and still in channel, -1, -2. This is a bleed candidate. It could bleed for a while, so I would be careful. I would be cautious. I would be looking at very, very good quality names if I'm on a bottom feed. I would look at the 3 things as always. Investment grade companies are defined as following: good management, solid balance sheet, and well-known, adopted, sponsored products. Like Apple Watch. Everyone wants to have Apple Watch. That kind of stuff. Don't go out there for some bow wow names that's selling for 30 cents on Toronto Exchange. There's a reason it's at 30 cents. Probably going to sit there for a while. We're in a very rough patch. Part of it is oil. Part of it is unknown, called Putin. And part of it is also the delivery, the supply chain. Yeah, until we solve those, we're not going to go anywhere. I think this is a recession trade, and basing it says we're going to come out. Well, where's the base? I don't know. We'll find out, but we're close. Data says we're close, but where that is, I don't know. But we could be also flatline for a while. It's got a base before it pulls up. So it's going to take us some time. Russell is also slightly upticking, not enough. There's a cross possibly coming out. CI, notice we're not close to that here on transportation. As I always say, transportation tells me what SPX is going to do. Russell will tell me what NDX is going to do. When things got rough, they took out, look what time it peaked. They took out the small caps and took them to the woodshed. Down here, we're taking the generals out, the FANG. So, and the mid caps were in between. This is typical. So we're almost near the bottom. Part of the trading awe is to show some courage and valor. That means to step in at the right time. I think we're there. I was earlier Was ready. They taught me a lesson. We always get humble, so that's part of it. Our growth, our learnings. As Borsellino says, love your losers. That's what you're gonna learn. These trenders pushing down again, pushing down again. That's normal. Let's do that. Little bit of uptick, yes, but that's because of price action. Are we there? I don't know. Nobody knows. Remember, we gotta go back and look at it. In 2020, we weren't. Not at this level. We went to double this. But this is not that. Remember, this is the whole economy has stopped. Period. By force, not because people wanted to. By force. That's not where we are now. This is where China is. Why? They don't have a vaccine that works. The vaccines are horrible. They just won't admit it. So, and we have a miracle called that vaccine. So, I mean, they launched it. More power to them. And the computers designed it. And so far, we're okay. Statistically speaking, that's the biggest sample size. Statistically. What, 300 million doses? Maybe more? Yeah. I mean, some estimate talk about it. The pharmacologist was telling me it was more than that. Between the dosages and the boosters. That's the biggest sample size ever. So if you hear some problems here and there, yeah, that could happen. But we have that, and China doesn't. Okay. Mechanical systems. Sell on the long term, on the weekly. Look where the support is. Remember I was talking about 3,400, 3,500? We're finally encroaching to that region. While this is coming up also, you couldn't talk these levels back then, but it's getting closer. Well, we may test this and then go up. We'll see. There may be another 150 down, but the next 150 up or 200 points up are far more crucial than the next 150 down, because we were already flushed out a lot of people. That we're slowly running out of sellers. Keep that in mind. Fear, greed. So we go up when there's a lot of fear. We go down when there's complacency. All right. On the daily model, which is pretty much the same, it's slightly different. And this is not for subscriptions or anything. This is just strictly used for this machine. Why? Because they were used for Time and Digest. I didn't want to have somebody come in and buy it. And who's on Time and Digest through a different name, different email. We can't control that. PayPal pays us, they log in. Can't do that. So these two are not available for distribution, but suffice to say they're fairly close. One is more optimized for daily, the other one for weekly. But we haven't touched them since 2008. You start touching your systems, you're in a fantasy land. So, okay, we also have other data to look at. We had a peak here on the 52-week highs for S&P. That usually sets up a further low. We have done that. Now, reverse of that, we're getting very high readings. What was this value here? We talked about it the other day. Remember, during the week, I do it live in the chat room. 207. The line in the sand is 140. 207 says we're near bottom or at the bottom. Why? This is the number of 52 weeks lows. 207, that 40% of S&P is at the making new lows. We're done. We're almost done. Look at the divergences. Look at the detail. Divergence is right there against Momo. Against Momo. It's a smaller brethren. I'm sorry, Momo against SP1. Smaller brethren. And we pulled up from going down to negative 3 sigma. We're at negative 1 now. So next few days are going to be absolutely crucial. And that's why this morning I was a little bit alarmed. We were lower, and I told myself, when we go to a bull, not bull market, because we're not, but let's say bear market rallies, they're going to take it down first at nighttime and then buy it into the day. And the reverse happens when we're bearish. Up here, if you remember, we were high in the evening and then really dropped in the RTH session. So that's what I'm thinking is happening right now, but we got to take it one day at a time. Because we're at the extreme, these charts need to be reviewed often. That's what we do. Sometimes we talk about it in the chat room too. Okay, looks like Polycon came in. SPX came in. I'm sorry, SPXQ came in. That's a tail risk on the out of the money puts. That means the making bets here. It's getting less and less. Even the big boys think we're almost done. That's a good tell there. Okay. All-time low is 111. All-time high is 170. Design is 100 to 150. So recently we have blown all of that out. Not on the downside, but on the upside. So this typically says we're done with the downside. Look at the lows it's tested. This is observational. We cannot trade this, and it's available after the close. There is no intraday value for this. Courtesy of CBOE. Okay, treasury yields. Okay, we pulled back a little bit today, but you saw what happened a couple of days ago. This was key. Let's see. You know what? Where's my ATH here? Hold on. Let me draw. Let me activate all-time high here. All-time high is off. See that? Put that on. Let's see where we are. There we go. Wow, we're going there. Yeah, we're going there. Yeah. If they get to what the chairman said yesterday, 2.5, that's his target. I mean, take this out a little bit. These are indices from CBOE. The actual rate, the YTM, yield to maturities, are divided by 10. So 30 years at 3.243 right now. And look how fast we've already gone through resistance levels for the monthly. Okay. Cars, housing, long-term liabilities, let's say. Blue Shields will be here. That's how they finance large buildings, because they have a payout there. They're involved for the insurance people. Okay. I still hold by my belief that this type of a term structure, especially here, this one was huge. I believe this was March. Yeah, this move here. Remember, Putin moved there into Ukraine. This kind of move says that we're going to slow down. Whether we get into a recession or not, says we're going to slow down. And any move up should be sold. Let's see, that March is, we're talking about this area. And this was all-time high. We have dropped out quite a bit. You know, remember, we held on from early February, when it gets us, all the way down here. So, but I was anxious, but that's what the chart shows. What are you going to do? Okay. VIX spread. Hourly chart of a spread, 3 month spread. Lead month is, you can see from the volume. Always go by volume. You can't go wrong if you go by volume. Is July long and October short. That's what this is. And stands at almost neutral, 0.5. If you look at these levels, you realize what the offset you have to use. These, when you were getting down to these peaks here, lows here that was retested, this should be around 0. So we need to add 1 to this. Or add 1, subtract 1 from it. We're at around 145. There's no exact guide what it's supposed to be. Why? The actual traded, the spread is traded, so therefore we get a solution. So basically this says we're at negative 1.5 in normal days. Remember, all of this went out of whack in March 2020. Like a miracle. Yeah, it all went out of whack. So we're about 1.5 normally. That says we're neutral area. We're not overbought, we're not oversold. And we'll lift it from oversold. Oversold is these areas. Okay? Consider, if you take the 1 out, you'll see around 0. And you should get about negative 1 out, yeah. So take 1 out. Once it gets to about 2.5 down here, we're near the high. Somewhere in here, we'll be near high. So hopefully we hold here and move up. Market has been very short. There are a lot of, and also one of the things I'm looking for as an event, we talked about it yesterday, I believe, in the chat room, is that somebody's got to go down. Some big firm has to get busted. Could be even crypto here. But somebody big has to go down. The problem with that concept is that by the time it becomes news, it's a couple of days. So you guys see it here live on an activity of the big boys. Remember, VIX is there, I believe, 1,000 to 1 payoff. It's it's a realm of the big boys. So we'll see it, and then we'll get the news next day or 2 days from now on CNBC or Fox Business. So be aware of it. Somebody's gonna be in trouble. I'm thinking most likely to be somebody in the on alt investments, alternate investments like crypto. That's where it should be the problem. Thank God we didn't touch crypto with the OIB. The original request was for that. We didn't touch it. I told myself, why would the Federal Reserve or Secretary of Treasury would allow somebody to challenge our reserve currency? At some point, if it gets too popular, they just say regulation. That's all you have to say. It's like yelling fire in the theater. That ends that, and look what crypto is. Of course, Tico came back and he says 27,000, Daddy. There's a gap at 27,000. And my own cousins were trying to get in. I have some cousins in Silicon Valley that they said, we got to be in this. We got to be in this. And I told them, you guys don't have enough money. This is a problem. You're going to get into trouble. So at around 60, 57, 60, I convinced them not to touch it. Now they call me Moses. So now they're happy. Finally, wow, it was really a big bout. Some people I've talked to at crypto, they're talking about 12,000. Some of the analysts I trust, they're talking about probably 12 to 15,000. Then maybe it's a washout. You recall in 2017, I traded twice. One was alongside with SIBO, got listed the first Sunday, I believe was 11th of 2017. And I held it like a few hours. The margin was huge. The movement was massive. And by morning, I was out. Ended up not sleeping that night, Monday morning. It was ruined on Monday. But then about a week later, it got listed on CME, the big contract, 5 cryptos. That one, we were at 20. And Admiral Tico came back and says, Daddy, we're going to sell this sucker. This is too expensive. And I waited. I didn't know what to do. You've never been there. The crypto was never at 20,000. So we sold at 19. And I told him, you better tell me what your target is, young man. And he goes, Daddy, I think 6,000. We covered at 5,800 a month later. It was flatlined for a while, went to 3,000, and then started going up slowly and got to 60,000. But I haven't touched it since. My inclination was, why would we put, if to develop a good system, it's going to take you a couple of years, especially when the volatility is this high. Ours has been almost 2. Why would want to be with the different components of it and finally turning it into a system? Why would you expend that kind of R&D on a system that may be based on the asset, that asset may not be here, or could be by exogenous pressures, it could get evaporated? That's just the wrong place. I don't do anything short term in terms of tools. I've probably written, I don't know, 100 indicators, 150 indicators. They're junk. Most of them. I'd say 95% are junk. Very few have survived. That's why I run multiple monitors. You've seen, I run something like 20 monitors, equivalent, because they're big, and I divide them by software into small ones. I have stuff running. Why? They're not ready. They're not ready for prime time. They're like Saturday Night Live people. They're not from Second City. They're not ready. They're not ready for prime time. You got to take a look at it. Why? Because you got to take them to a different market texture. You got to take them to the downtrends, the sideways, the rallies, and of those, we probably have 5, 7 survived. Those were the went to ORB. I said we're going to put the best in there. The last one we've added is DMZ. I'm going to get to it shortly. Anyhow, back to here. This is one of those I really, really like, SP2, except this is an end of the day system. Setup indicator. And it has to do with the S&P 500 names only. Okay? Yeah, not all of S&P. Not all of NYSE, just S&P 500. As you can see, lower low on prices, higher reading. That's when we started buying Amazon. That's 20 to 1 leverage. 20 to 1 stock split. 2-year low, I think we're okay. We bought at 103. It traded 112 today. Not bad. Now pull back in the close. We'll buy some more. We put in about a quarter of our position. So slowly, the next, I'd say, month and a half, we'll build it. My target is about 127 on Amazon. Remember, this is 20 to 1 the stock split. So you can't have some wild numbers. It's not going to work. You got to be realistic. But that's what I'm looking for. Not telling you to go and get in. I'm not front running. No. I'm saying what we did. And a lot of people got copies of it because we put it on our, what do you call it, too, on our options. About an hour before, we actually also bought some stocks. If we had done it the other way, we had bought the options, then the stock that we front running. We didn't do that. We bought the option first. Why? If a signal is good, why do you want to finagle with it and risk have an audit? It doesn't make sense. Just if the trade is good, it'll stand on its own. You don't need to finagle it with the order flow. So we bought the stock first for different affiliates, not even same. Then we bought the options for our option group. And then let me go to the next item here quickly. I'm going to come to this. I want to go to our you see the screen much better now. Our short-term IBD 250, all high beta names, levels. And I'll show you charts for that too. And that's where we're going to show you DMZ. All right, let's go to volatility. Outside bar, hello. Both of them. Oh, three of them. Okay, three outside bars. The little dots, those are outside bars. Good. Sigma level almost neutral. Getting to 0, so it's about 28. Elevated? Of course elevated. Look where we are in the market. So about 27, 28 there. No, I'm sorry, 29. Yeah, almost 29. Down tick, low tick was 78. Okay. And then about 30, 36 on the, I like this much better because it's a pure S&P 100 protocol, the one that originally Robert Wiley created. Both of these are. I don't know about that, but these two are that methodology. I don't like the new VIX because it's manipulated. And the way they calculate it and so forth. There's a lot of backdoor stuff. But we have a cost there, you have a cost there, you have a cost there. So walls should be pulling down. That occurs, we're going to rally. Part of it is also here. Where we are now, a very large component of everything we do has energy in it. It's global economy. We're not building it locally. It's coming to us through Amazon or Walmart. They have delivery, and including last mile that gets you from their hub to you. And always, by the way, I had a friend who was a senior VP of XPO, big logistic company, and they made a lot of money off of Amazon. The last mile is very, very lucrative, and Amazon doesn't want to touch it. Maybe at a certain day it would. You could see some more trucks, but Rivlin has to work. That's why the orders had with Rivlin. By the way, a friend of mine just got his. I'm going to see him in the Marshall Fried guy. He's in the chat room with us. One of the early ES traders in the country. I'm going to see him on 3rd of July in Malibu. We're going to take that baby around for a walk, for a drive up in the hills. Yeah. It's a good truck. Better be good for about 70, I don't know, 80,000. And he put it with a deposit, so you get a good discount. And then Amazon's bought, but Amazon owns like 20% of the company. The stock is in the toilet. Does anybody know what the symbol is? Rivlin? I forgot. But he's telling me he's not in a good mood on that. So if you guys know that symbol, just type it in for me. We'll get to that. Okay, Larry's. We post this several times a day. If you follow Admiral Tico, you can see it live. Admiral Tico is right here. Tweet deck. Admiral. No, we have two admirals. This is the smart one. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Admiral Tico. There we go. This is Espo. This is Tico. Yeah. You see his traffic? It's just exploded. But then Admiral Tico posts that chart. Take a look. He's also giving you now the URL to read the definition and the usage, and that's crucial. Printed out. It's work by Paul Desmond, great guy out of Lowry's, and you need to have this thing printed near you. If you want to trade technically, you need to pay attention to that. So go and do it. All right, Larry. So that's that. Now, what did we do today? We were doing okay, and we were not doing okay in the morning, as we said. We opened negative. We did okay while the chairman was speaking, but after that, they sold it down. See what happened last hour. Yeah, these are 60 minutes. A little bit less on Nasdaq. Nasdaq held on, even though that itself was also negative. 316. Okay, I'll look at percentages. 1 second. 37. And then, of course, here we did not go to 90 plus and hang in there. We were there a little bit yesterday, and we lost that too. So it's not going to be a straight shot. It's going to be a lot of tug of war here, because you still have going to be some yahoos who want to be short. Let them be. We'll find out. We can't go up without the shorts. So if they want to come in, they're welcome to. The power index. That's again Lowry's. I've got to watch my time. It's 5:50. Okay. Short. Still short. Oh, no, sorry. You gotta buy on Russell. Okay. And buy. Hallelujah. Yeah. We gotta go up, guys. Yeah. Remember, this is the work done by Peter Cook, our chief moderator in the chat room. Very bright young man. A great promise. And he programmed that. So I can't send this out. This is his work. But it has to do with this data. This comes from TradeStation, this data. It's called Value Index. Let me go there. And yeah, Value Composite, whatever that means. Very unusual. This is for the mid cap. They have it, we run it, and it's good. Peter tells me that for him, the downsides don't work as well as upside. I beg to differ. I think they both work very well. And you can see in this leg, remember, he's talking about up to now. We've had 14 years of run up. So, yeah, the downside didn't work very well. But you have that kind of pressure to the upside. There's always somebody sitting at the bid. Right now, the last 4 or 5 months, somebody's sitting at the ask. So that's what you have here. And yet, the shorts were good. Shorts were not bad. We have a buy again on Russell and the NQ. I bet you this is next. I bet you ES is next. Notice we run the at contract, so it's a continuous contract. That's that. This is it. Okay. All right, let me go to one of the charts we have. Okay, this one. All right, this is the percentage of stocks above 200. Excuse me. Let's go back here. I'm trying to get this to be 5. I got to figure out how to save it as such. Okay, now you can see what's happening. This is 2020. This is December 2018. Guys, we're almost there. You know how your dad was driving you to Orlando, Disney World from, like, let's say, Northern Virginia. And I didn't go with my dad, but my brothers and my siblings went. And they kept on asking, are we there? Are we there yet? He was so upset. But I wasn't there with him. I had to finish my apps for school. It was December of my senior year in high school. So I stayed home and finished my apps. I started out, I feel like 9, 10 schools. Copy paste. Yeah, but we had the word processor. So long story short, look where we are. Are we there yet? Is a good question. I think so. Why? This is a different problem. Here, you had no vaccine. You had able-bodied people, but they were not allowed to go to work. And there was a lot of demand destruction. Here is a different problem. We've got to try to tame inflation. By the way, I think Powell made a mistake of not going 100 basis points twice. I would have gone in February, hit 100. As we discussed here, I discussed on Twitter with Benzinga, I discussed on Facebook. 100 now. You know, you've got to take the tough medicine early. Problem is politics. You got to take politics out of this, and the Fed should be above all of that. Unfortunately, they weren't. So if you look closely, we're here. Okay, so still huge separation, but I think we're near that return. It could be also like this, where it goes up and down a little bit and then eventually pulls up. So part of the problem could be earnings, but I think they're priced in. Look, I'm not always a bull. I'm not always a bear, but right now we're coming out of that bear mode, in my opinion. Remember, market discount 60 months forward. If we survive this area, I think we're good. I think we're good. The market will bounce. I'm saying the economy will bounce, and the market will foresee that. Part of that would be here. If we start building the bottom and go up, we're not going to have a recession, or it's going to be very mild, because market has a sense, an uncanny ability to, in aggregate, keyword is aggregate, foretell the future. Okay, so that's what we want to look for. All right, that's that. What are we going over? Well, last but not least, I promise you DMZ. Well, let's go here and take a look. There's two parts to this puzzle. We've had these webinars for the Happy Expert package. We wrote this code that takes the DMZ indicator. What is that? I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to bring it here. I'm bringing it from our desktop. These two lines are DMZ. And it's actually a short offshoot of a double CI, not the regular CI, but double CI. Okay, all right, I gotta change this thing. Okay, hold on, I gotta change this right now. We have a better indicator now. Hold on, combine. We have a combine indicator. Let me put that in. Sorry, guys, we have gone through so much. We have had to update things, and it's been very much in a flux situation. I keep forgetting, but we're almost there. Hold on. CI diff. Here's what we have. CI diff. Together. Boom. There we go. This is it. Right. Okay. This is weekly. This is daily. DMZ is an offshoot of CI, but double CI, DCI, which we never used. Other than the first year, it was a novelty some people used. And there are two inputs, so they would play with the inputs. I learned one lesson. Knock out the inputs. They can't touch it. That's one. Two, make sure also they cannot touch the CI input. All they could do is choose the level when the color changes. You see that? By the way, I don't know why we're getting blues. These are monitors not matching. I'm sorry, trace system not matching the resolution of these monitors. This is a very high res monitor. It's I think 3800 by 2100, but it's very good for publishing. Yeah? When you move your mouse with a camera, you precisely can pick a pixel you want to do a cropping of a picture. Anyhow, bottom line is, notice the top line is always green, even though it's oscillating. So if it oscillates, the color changes. Very easy on the eye. A little tricky on programming, and there may be a bar or two of delay, but that's fine. But you could see now when it hits these costs are offsets. These costs are offset based on what? ATR, and we can adjust that. But notice what happens. We get a bunch of them in a row. It's overbought. That's greed. That's come in. We hit a bunch of them in a row on the bottom. The fear has come in. And look what happens after that. Okay. So now what do we do with this? Why is it on Netflix? I just punched that in. But we have here. This does the sorting for us. Okay. So for Y level on, let's say, give me a Garmin. Okay. The GPS guys. Yeah, I changed to Garmin. So if you put it on two monitors, you'll see it side by side. And okay, that's saying that we just punched the first level from underneath. So it's coming up, hits the red line. You see the bubble? The first bubble is on. This says it's on your alert list. First bubble is on alert list. The second bubble, you want to buy in between or above it. We're really, really pressured down. Usually what we do is that we put our toes in. If it closes above the bubble, we go to half size if it's above it. The second one, then we let it run. How far? The agreed level. Do we stop? Yes. Do we care? No. The odds are, these are good odds. Take it. That's what we do. So now, each day, during the day, this thing goes through its cycle. It's constantly moving. You don't see it now because of the it's after hours. But let's go to AMAT. Go to AMAT. Again, I do side by side monitor. There you go. This is the AMAT. This is where we're on AMAT. You see what it's gone through both. Gone through a second bubble, although they're on top of each other. But that's what it is. We can't control that, but that's what it is. To me, probably AMAT is not a bad buy. I would buy some like 255, 265 on it, or 255, 260. Remember what Rothschild said? I'll buy late and I sell early. Just want to be in the trend. Think about it. First of all, you're not going to be there very long. You're not going to get nervous. And you just driving it during the trend. You're not waiting for it to base. What if it doesn't base? Or top? So I would probably buy 255 or 252 and a half to about 262 and a half. That's the first cross coming up. 10 points, let's go. So it's way down low. Balls will be a little bit high, but as we go up, balls will drop, but then X came out. Because of it's a bargain hunting, X minus S in the Black Scholes explodes. The trick, you understand the formula. It explodes and you go. I always like logarithmic growth. Not just exponential, but logarithmic. The only exception is COVID. Exactly the same thing. Yeah. Because that was bad news. Yeah. Not good news. So we go through the list. Looks like ISRG. Now, this is scary. I know. Actually, Reg FT, one of my classmates, is a founder from school. Yeah. They're beaten up. Look where they were. If I go to, you can see it. The top was 364. They do intuitive surgical. They do robotic. And the two brothers who were founders. And let me just say this Gulfstream 650 was not good enough. He just bought a Swedish fighter without any armament, with a full-time pilot. So if he goes to meetings to LA, he's in San Francisco. This way he can go in the morning and come back for dinner. And spend a lot of time in LA because he sits in the back, parachute, boots, and no armament, but they fly supersonic. As I said, his 650, G650 is not good enough. They've done well. He's a good guy. He was Jeff Drazen. He was 2 years after me. Actually, I interviewed him for the club. Good kid. Hard worker. Bertram Capital. They've done very, very well. Anyhow, by the way, if we give a recommendation on this, I would always say that. An affiliate is a founder or something like that. You got to know. I don't want you to read it in the newspaper. Anyhow, something like this potentially is good. My fear is this level down here. This was a weekly, so that's a March 2020 low. I just don't think so. I just think probably it's got this area. Probably it's got a 180 test. So I may keep it on a watch, let it drop lower, and then that's it. I don't think we're going to see 140 or lower. It's already detrended enough from the 200-week moving average. Okay, but that's what we do. That again. What's our inputs? IBD 250. Why? I beta up and down. Now look how many Look what we got. Spotify. That's the only sell trade we have right now. Why? Because we're just so low already. We've been so low. And this will just dip below the magenta bubble. Remember, we have a cyan bubble, magenta. Cyan bubbles were up. According to this, you see the bounce? Same thing there. It's bouncing down. I wouldn't pay attention to this. This is already sold. I would not want to be short here. If I'm shorting NQs temporarily and with the system. Because your emotions will come in and you're going to destroy yourself. Okay, anything else for me? Let's see. Again, I'll be out for about 10 days. Hopefully, with the help of Peter, Nancy, and Cash and Admiral Esposito, I'll have my phone off. But if I have to turn it on, that means we got a problem. There will be a webinar next week. I'd say 50-50. Okay? Because it would be the night before my flight, depends. If I have the time, sure. Otherwise, also, we're going through the July 4th. Bias next week should be positive. Very, very high seasonality into 4th of July to be positive. The meeting we'll never have is the 6th. I'm not going to go sit there without charts and all this stuff, give you a talk. So 50-50 chance on 29th. And then after that, on the 13th, definitely, I'm back. So I get back on the 10th. That will be our next meeting. Best place to find out is here. Click on members. We'll post our dates, always. We have a all day Tuesday. Still looks good. Depends because we're doing showcasing 4.6, which would be probably our flagship for ORB. And then we're going to move over to the next part of our puzzle, which is the HR system. But that also uses DMZ. So with putting the DMZ in the ORB, we're building an infrastructure to get the second part done real quick. Why? We're a little bit behind. We're a little bit behind. But 80%, 90%, 70% return a month, we're taking our time. There's no competition. Nobody's close even. So we're going to take our time. I mean, this one place has got a performance ladder. What we did in the first month, they did in 3 months. Yeah. We're going to blow them away. Same thing we did with, remember, I don't know if you guys remember me or not on this. It was January of 2015. We had finished an upgrade to our indicators in between Thanksgiving and, let's say, New Year of 2014. I came out and said, what? It's on a webinar. I said, I'm printing a deck of cards of all these 120 names here. Just like George W. did going after Saddam. Those deck of cards, we're going to take every single guy to the woodshed. And look what we did. In 10 years we did. Now, it took us 5 years to get there. But I do remember Bollinger calling me saying, Farry, what the hell are you doing? I said, why? He goes, in 5 months you've leveled everybody. I said, well, I have new indicators. So, and then of course, then came 2018 and 2020. But that's our game plan now. Make sure, according to this system house that trades it and it ranks us, in the first month we did what the best system had done in 3 months. So, as Air Force says, you got to aim high. Any questions for me? Anybody awake? Is this becoming, these webinars, are they going to be approved by FDA as cure for insomnia? Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that. Okay, so at least Dennis is awake. Good. Yeah, enjoy your 4th of July holiday. As you know, it's the day my mom passed away. So it's a somber moment for me. But I want to be with her. And she's buried in Forest Lawn in Hollywood Hills. So I'm going to be there. And but I'll be back. I'm going to go to San Francisco for a few days. A couple of investors and also a bunch of other relatives up there. I will see them. I haven't seen them over 2 years. So, but you're in good hands, and I'll be in touch. And of course, our goal is to launch the 4.6 by this Friday. If we can do that, at least in the chat room. And then on 4th of July, we got to give it away to members of elite members who can run on their machine. That's our game plan. 20 years before, exactly 20 days, we launched this website. I remember that we had everything set up, ready to go until on the 4th of July, we turned it over and this went live. Of course, it was a very simple website back then. Some stuff didn't work. But, members there, you would go and some of this stuff wasn't there. Like if I sign up here, some of the stuff wasn't there yet. But wow. Never thought I'll be doing this, guys. Never did. But thank you all. I mean, with your forbearance for our mistakes and delays, but I think we did a good mission, and I'm proud of it. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, Dennis. Siamak, I'll see you shortly. Maybe Friday. We'll see. I'll be in touch to match your itinerary with mine. Okay, sir? Thank you. Good evening to all. I've got to close this so I can go to post-processing. I don't know when I'll get a chance to post it, but maybe before I leave. Depends on how fast this gets done. And I'll turn off the CPU for TradeStation, so all of it goes to post-processing. See you guys in... if I don't see you guys next Wednesday, we'll see you in 3 weeks, okay? Because there's a 6th that I'm not going to be able to do. I probably with my sister. Oh no, 6 I'm flying. 6 at this time I'm flying to San Francisco. Yeah. So I can't. Even if I do a little bit earlier in Ojai, the bandwidth is poor up in the mountains. But definitely on the 13th we'll see you. Again, refer to the webpage. The webpage tells you what's going on because that's easy to change manually. Very easy to change. So if you go here, members, you'll see. Of course, as we change it on GoToMeeting. We change it on GoToMeeting, and then this changes. It sends you an email automatically. Because remember, this is a perpetual system. It'll remind you of what next meeting is. Okay. Hey, Nancy, thank you for everything. Appreciate that. Couldn't make the trip without you, Nancy. So thank you for hanging in there for me. I need a little vacation. I haven't had a day off since like mid-March. So. But nothing is easy. Bezos said what? If you want to get something big done, massively done, you better be ready to take some hardship. Yeah. Hardship builds your character. It's good for you. So I just need a few days off away from everything else. Anyhow, have a good one. Have a great 4th of July, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.